Hello, welcome to Slap City, USA. And I'm usually scouring the deepest depths of the slap world, looking for beautiful moments such as Brandon the Ripper Rhodes trying to sneak a vape hit during a post-fight press conference, or perhaps this beautiful commentary from Slap Fight Championship Poland.
Keep in mind there is the possibility of an extra round. Maybe while we're waiting, we can get a little bit of ass slapping in the meantime between the ring girls.
But more recently, I've been forced into the world of geopolitics, mainly because Dana White, whose reputation is spotless, was a major supporter of the man leading the United States to war with Iran. This man obviously being American President Donald Trump, who was recently accused of shitting himself in the Oval Office.
Are coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going.
The tactics are too aggressive.
Oh, he shit himself for sure. And after Dana's recent appearance on Piers Morgan Uncensored, in which Piers uses the word pussy 4 times within the first 30 seconds.
Pussy talk, pussy claim, massive pussy.
I found myself interested in how Dana toes the line between his impassioned speech at the Republican National Convention.
It is my honor to introduce the 45th and soon-to-be 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And being a guy who isn't even that political.
I'm not as political as everybody thinks I am. So when I'm around, I don't really talk a lot of politics. And
I'm not as political as everybody thinks I am.
And my goal for today is to analyze some of Dana's behavior to see if he is in fact political, or if his worldview is centered less on a complex understanding of political ideology and instead getting on his knees to pleasure the metaphorical penis of the world's elite. So to find out, let's first look at something that is undeniably political. A speech by Dana made one day before Trump's second inauguration, in which Dana says some things that are almost too complimentary.
He is the best human being that I have ever known.
Now, you usually might expect someone to say this about their spouse or potentially their children, but Dana reserves the top spot for best human he's ever known to a twice-divorced accused pedophile who has pardoned multiple Jan 6ers who have gone on to commit sex crimes. And he's echoed a similar sentiment through many pro-Trump speeches over the years.
And this man is the toughest, most resilient human being that I have ever met in my life.
But to be totally fair, Dana and Trump have had a very long-term friendship. So perhaps Dana's willingness to do tricks on it is more so about that relationship than any political ideology. And to see if this is a valid point, we'll have to take a look at some of Dana's other friends to see if it's a more politically diverse group of people, or if they're all profoundly wealthy individuals with ties to Jeffrey Epstein. So let's take UFC 309 as our sample, in which Dana White walks out with then a newly elected President Trump and a wacky cast of characters. And right off the bat, I'm noticing the brilliant lyricist Kid Rock, who has penned lyrics such as, young ladies, I like 'em underage. See, some say that's statutory, but I say that's mandatory. And although this particular lyric is not political, Mr. Rock has absolutely established himself as a right-wing figure through performances such as the Turning Point USA halftime show, or in his series of workout videos with Trump ally Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in which RFK Jr. chooses to not remove his jeans before partaking in a cold plunge. And in a recent interview, Dana insinuates that his relationship with Kid Rock is stronger than ever.
Oh, shit. I'm hungover. I went out with Kid Rock last night. Oh! Bad idea.
Yeah.
And it's important to analyze this group of absolute freaks a little bit further because it speaks of Dana's worldview. Because another member of this posse is richest man on earth, Elon Musk, who is accused of once exposing himself to a flight attendant, then promising to give her a horse in exchange for sexual favors. And even more recently, it has come out that Elon also begged Jeffrey Epstein to attend his wildest parties, which is exactly the type of heinous behavior you would expect this monstrosity to dabble in. But to each their own, I guess, because Dana finds Elon Musk, whose AI once called itself Mecha Hitler, as a cool dude and a good hang. And the fun doesn't stop there, because you could argue that Kid Rock and Elon Musk, despite their recent embrace of the right wing, are more so known for their work done outside of politics. And this would then affirm that Dana is in fact apolitical. However, to believe that, you'd have to ignore the shortest person in the group by a wide margin, Mike Johnson. And you might be wondering, hey, is that the guy who uses an app where he and his son can monitor each other's porn usage? Well, yes.
Covenant Eyes is the software that we've been using a long time in our household. It's about $15 a month, $16 a month, something like that. It scans, you obviously opt into it, but it scans all the activity on your phone. Notice, I'm proud to tell you my son he's got a clean slate, all right? Yeah.
But he's also the Speaker of the House, making him an undeniable political figure. And as a bit of a side note, on a recent podcast appearance, he somehow manages to establish himself as the most pathetic member of this group.
Well, the UFC fight was pretty awesome because we were there with Kid Rock and Jelly Roll and Elon and like.
You know who Jelly Roll is?
Do I know? Yes.
But to be totally fair, much of this occurred in 2025, and with Dana's more recent attempts to distance himself from politics, perhaps on Piers Morgan Uncensored, we'll try to backtrack a bit about his relationship with the president.
He's a great human being, and I love the guy. He's hilarious. He is literally the hardest working guy I know.
Or not. However, after Dana is done absolutely throwing that thing back for the president, Piers does ask him about his take on the war with Iran.
What do you think of what is happening at the moment with Iran? It's the big news story at the moment. Do you have a view about it?
And surely an illegal and offensive war brought upon by a president who campaigned on not having wars will at least lead to some mild and honest criticism from Dana.
Listen, the United States is doing it what the United States is going to do. Regular citizens like us, feel however you want to feel about it, but it's going to happen. Just deal with it.
What a gigantic piece of shit. So I want to be totally fair here, because it is true that regular citizens like myself will have to just deal with the consequences of this war. But for Dana to imply that he's just a regular citizen like the rest of us while he tries to hide behind his Power Slap branded Solo cup is ludicrous. I mean, I didn't scream my way through a speech at the RNC to endorse a president who once tried to stage an insurrection. I don't caress the hands of Saudi Arabian billionaires. I don't have friends implicated in the Epstein files. I don't have a net worth of $600 million. I don't exchange blows with women at nightclubs. So my takeaway is that Dana is just too stupid to have a coherent political ideology, and that's why he claims that he's not very political. But in reality, he's snuggled up to some of the richest and most powerful people in the entire world. And when these individuals do obvious harm, such as murder over 100 children in a school via airstrike, Dana's too much of a coward to criticize them. So no, he's not just some regular citizen. He's a pathetic, self-righteous shill who is so cucked by the president, he can't even lightly acknowledge the destruction that's been happening both domestically and abroad. So, in the words of Piers Morgan, he's just a
massive pussy.